is it that Yaakov came to marry sisters? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2, the Torah portion of Vayetzi, and he went out. One more time, look at Bereshit chapter 28, verse 10 with me that says, and Yaakov went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. Now, we are still trying to figure out from yesterday the answer to the question, why was Yaakov allowed to go to Haran, but Yitzhak not allowed to go? And why was he given the blessing and the favor of Yah, the call to the lineage, yet he was sent away from home, and Esau, who did not receive the blessing, was allowed to stay at home? Why was that? Well, yesterday we were talking about the character difference that was possibly found between Yaakov and Yitzhak. Let's turn our attention and focus now to the prospect of finding the bride. The servant of Abraham was sent to Haran to find a bride for Yitzhak. He went and he found Rivkah and brought her back home. So why didn't Yitzhak do the exact same thing? Esau's marrying the pagan women of the land that is around them, the last of which we find is the daughter of Ishmael. Maybe she's not quite as paganistic as the other women of Canaan. But nevertheless, Yaakov and Rivkah are heartsick over Esau's wives. Why didn't Yitzhak just send a servant to Haran to get one of the brides and bring her home so that that Isaac, or get their names straight, Yaakov could marry them? Well, number one, it's a continuing of the fact that the bride is found in exile. Think about that. Sarah, the bride of Abraham, technically she was found in exile. That is, exile from the land, even though they'd never been there. Outside the land of Israel. Rivkah was found outside the land of Israel. The brides of Yaakov, likewise, were all found in exile. Exile is a particular place that Yah utilizes to shape, refine, and call his people back to repentance, calling them back to the Torah, to his commands, to his covenant. Whenever Yah's people find themselves walking waywardly in rebellion, and a very obstinate is the word I'm looking for, obstinate attitude toward Yah. If they fail to hear the word of the prophets, if they fail to read and understand the word and it's called to them, then Yah will allow them to be overtaken, put into exile, until they learn and understand this is not our destiny. We're outside of our calling, and they seek to find a way to return. The bride, the figurative bride of Messiah, is often found in exile. That is, that as these patriarchs have demonstrated, the Spirit of Yah goes into the places outside the land and calls those who have ears to hear what the Ruach is saying and brings them back to the Torah. And such has he done for us. I dare say that the vast majority, if not the totality of this audience, you live outside the land of Israel. Yet the Ruach has called to you, fashioned an ear to hear what he is saying for you, and you're seeking to return in fullness and completeness to all that he is requiring of you. The bride is found in exile. But here's the second part. If a servant had been sent for Yitzhak, or from Yitzhak, to go find a bride for Yaakov, for Jacob, would that servant have returned with only one of the two sisters? Now, why two sisters? Well, there are two brothers. The rabbinical thought here is that Esau was destined to marry Leah, the eldest daughter of Laban. However, he began to intermarry with the Canaanitish women that were around him. And then he went, after he realized mom and dad are not happy about this, and married a daughter of Ishmael, a relative. Still not a righteous choice. Heartsick parents cannot handle the idea that Yaakov would do likewise. So he is sent to Haran to personally take a bride. Now we're going to read about Leah having a different kind of eyes than Rachel. Roundish eyes maybe, as opposed to a more attractive set of eyes. However, it was rabbinically thought that she had weak eyes, less attractive eyes, because of her long-term weeping at the prospect, I'm destined to marry that horrible man Esau, and I just can't fathom the thought of that. Yaakov goes and not only marries Rachel, but he also, in a sense, rescues Leah. So a servant may have only gone and found one bride instead of two. Now, before I go any further, let me just very clearly state and clarify here. I do not in any way whatsoever suggest that there is validity in taking more than one wife. That's a teaching that has gone around Hebraic roots, and it has caused more pain and brokenness and strife and heartache than we can possibly imagine. One man, one woman has always been Yah's design. However, we have found that there are situations in the text where that's not been the case. What you will also find is that wherever there has been more than one wife, it has never, ever turned out good. There's always been problems, always been dysfunction, always been heartache. It has never been a pleasant situation. So it's extremely ill-advised, and I find no credibility for it whatsoever. So I do not advocate plural marriage. Just want to be sure we understand that. Now, that being said, Yaakov was able to go and, in all reality, deliver both women. Leah represents the house of Yehudah, while Rachel represents the house of Ephraim. So this is about the bridegroom going and restoring both houses. There's a prophetic angle here then. He goes, he endures, he perseveres, and he overcomes the professional religious system of Laban, whose name means white. He has the character name of being white or righteous, but he is far from it. Actions speak louder than names or words here. This is a picture of Yeshua going and redeeming, restoring, and reclaiming both houses, and the end result is he brings both of them back to the land. So there is an understanding that only Yaakov could have accomplished this. He takes one of a particular character and a particular quality to accomplish this. Then if Yeshua is asking you and I to walk in his likeness, to walk in his character, to adopt his heart, that needs to be our heart as well. Even though we are in exile, we're here for a purpose, and that is to identify, understand the character of both houses, and see both Jews and Ephraimites, the house of Joseph, restored to the bridegroom and ultimately be brought back to the land. We got work to do today. So let's get to it, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.